Welcome to the September 2020 Park City Market Talk webinar. I'm Ron Wilstein, a broker at Keller Luxury Properties here in Park City, Utah. There's three things I'd like to cover with you today. Number one, the impact that COVID-19 is having on Park City's real estate market. Number two, give you details about Park City's sales and property prices. And three, how Park City's resorts intend to open during the pandemic. Let's begin by looking at the impact that COVID-19 is having on Park City's real estate market. Is anything selling? Well, when the pandemic first broke out in Park City, which was in the mid-March during the ski season, our marketplace basically shut down. There was a lot of uncertainty. The resorts closed, the restaurants closed, everyone had a stay-at-home order, and nobody knew what was going to happen. This was followed by a month and a half later, the primary homes market started to sell. Now, this was really positive news, and it was also during a time that rental properties remained lifeless. This was followed by our current situation where the primary home selling market is like crazy, particularly in the high-end segments of the marketplace. It's not uncommon to see articles like this. This is taken from UtahPost.com. COVID sets Park City, Utah home sales record 446 million in July and August. We can zero in on this and read, Park City, Utah has become one of the leading choices for affluent families seeking to relocate from cities in hopes of making the best of anxious times with lifestyle without lockdown. Utah Business, using the same headline, stressed the importance of a lifestyle without lockdown. That mountain resort towns is an obvious option due to the abundant outdoor recreation and cultural offerings, proximity to Salt Lake City International Airport for when travel resumes, and it's coming back definitely, and the conveniences of a nearly urban center that no other comparable resort town boasts of. Consequently, Park City is experiencing unprecedented demand for luxury real estate and scarce inventory. The emphasis of this article focused on Promontory, and it's worth noting as an example, and a wonderful example. Promontory, if you're not familiar with it, is an area with 6,400 acres. It is an amenity-rich community, and it accounts for 22% of Park City's July and August home and land sales during our current real estate boom. More specifically, 86 deals in the last 2 months, more than triple the amount at the same time last year, pre-pandemic. Over 275 million year-to-date in sales compared to 214 million for all of 2019. And there have been 165 sales so far in 2020 compared to the year-end total of 142 in 2019. So you can see that Promontory is just rocking. It is insane what it is doing. And we can tell you about other hot areas in Park City as well. Just let us know if you're interested. Give us a call at 435-487-0151. Now, I should point out, when you have a market this hot, you can't help but thinking about selling if you're a property owner. And so I want to mention that if you are thinking of selling your property now or during the upcoming ski season, now's the time to act. You want to get the information about the marketplace. You want to contact us. We're happy to provide you with a free property value assessment. So let's take a look at the Park City real estate market. And as we do each month, we'll look at number of sales, prices, key elements. There's been 1,431 sales in Park City over the last 12 months. This is homes, condos, and vacant land combined, and that is up 176 sales or 14%. We have now moved into the 1,400 sales category for going back 12 months. I expect we'll hit 1,500. The market is just booming. Looking here at this graph, we've broken it into homes, condos, and vacant land. And the red bars represent the 12-month period of September 2019 through August 2020. And the silver bar represents that same 12-month period the year before. You can see the number of home sales is up by 7%, climbing from 526 to 563. Condos up 18%, all the way to 716 from the previous 607. And even lots, usually we don't see that many lot sales because we don't have that much land. Even land is being purchased, up 22%, climbing from 125 sales to 152 sales. Now let's focus in on homes. Here we're looking at homes. We break it into the Park City limits and the Snyderville Basin. Park City is the city area. Snyderville Basin is the county. And just slightly down within the city, more due to lack of inventory to be purchased. 182 sales compared to 184 the year before. But look at that 11% jump in the Snyderville Basin in the home selling market from 342 sales all the way up to 381 sales. Turning to condominiums, we see a 3% increase in Park City from 308 to 318, 10 more sales. Again, there's limited inventory within the city limits, but where there are more choices, people are buying them in the Snyderville Basin, climbing from 299 to 398, 99 sales, 33% increase. Hot market. Land sales up. We're not talking big numbers in the city limits, from 19 to 31, but that's a 63% increase. People are trying to buy anything they can get their hands on. Snyderville Basin up 14%, climbing to 121 sales from the previous high previous year, 106. So you can see that the number of sales is really popping. There was an adjustment last year, keep that in mind, but nobody would have anticipated this activity during a pandemic. So let's take a look at what's happening with prices, see where the money's coming in. And take a look at this. In the Park City city limits, up 19% year over year. A new record, 2,326,429 medium sold price compared to 1,952,500 the year before. In the Snyderville Basin, where we saw more sales because there was more inventory, a nice 9% increase, climbing from medium price 1,265,000 to 1,385,000 year over year. That's $120,000 more in your pocket if you're selling now compared to a year ago. And let's take a look at the condominiums, up 6% in the city limits, climbing to 820,000 from 774, and 27%. 700,000 is the new medium price in the Snyderville Basin, compared to 549,750. Now, if you're a buyer, you're thinking, oh man, I should have bought a year ago, which is true, but we have every indication this is just going to keep climbing. So if you have any interest in purchasing, take a look at these figures and be happy if you buy, because next year, in all likelihood, the rent will be higher again. Taking a look at land increases in the city limits, again limited, but we saw a big jump, 63% number of sales. Prices climbed accordingly, 7% increase from 1,100,000 to 1,180,000. Prices actually down 3% in the Snyderville Basin, dropping from 511,500 to 495,000. So that's our marketplace in Park City in terms of number of sales and where our prices are going. Pretty impressive. Now, if you've been watching our monthly webinars, you've seen kind of the evolution of development of what's happening in Park City real estate following mid-March, the pandemic hitting, everything shutting down. And once we started seeing figures coming and could start building a case, I began to work on an outlook for Park City. I've shared with you previously in webinars as well as on our website a timeline I created for 24 months, and I broke it into 7 phases. We're in the success or setback phase, the 4th phase, and raised a lot of logical questions that you'd ask in each phase, and as you move from one phase to the next, other questions. And if you want to hear a video presentation that I made, go to BuyParkCity.com/COVID-19-update, and you'll get the latest update. You'll see where we are heading according to my predictions. I also on that video talk about 4 major categories of real estate looking into the future: primary homes, second homes, rental properties, and vacant land. And if that's of interest to you, see what I've said there. And as things change, I'll change it. I'll update it as we always do on our website. So again, you can watch that at BuyParkCity.com /COVID-19 update. With the uncertainty of COVID-19 and the changes throughout the country and throughout the globe, people do want to know more specifically as it relates to Park City is what's going to happen with the upcoming ski season. Park City Mountain, through Vail, its ownership, has set COVID guidelines that I want to share with you. But point out first of all that they are scheduled, in fact, to open for skiing and riding November 20th. Now, they'll be opening with some new regulations, so let's talk about those. And let's begin by looking at this protocol, but hearing from Rob Katz, who is the CEO of Vail Resorts. He says this: we are fortunate that our core experience of skiing and riding takes place outdoors across huge mountains, offering fresh air and wide open spaces for our guests. However, to help protect our guests, our employees, and our communities amid this pandemic, some changes will be required this season. So let's take a look at them. There will be a reservation system put in place that will put a limit on daily tickets and will prioritize season pass holders. Now, that's one thing we'll talk about here. Another one is a mask requirement. I'm sure that's not a surprise to anyone. In all parts of the resort. That includes the lift lines, on the lifts, in the gondola. You'll need to have a mask and have it available. And that's not that unusual for skiing because sometimes we keep ourselves warm with the mask. There will also be chairlift restrictions that allow only guests who are skiing or riding together to board a lift. Now, there are certain exceptions to that. 2 singles can board a chair if they sit on opposite ends of a 4-person lift. 2 singles or 2 doubles on the opposite end of a 6-person lift. And if you're hopping on a gondola, 2 singles on opposite sides of the larger gondola cabins. So you'll be able to get up the mountain. It would take a little longer. There will be some physical distancing, social distancing to get up there, but you're going to be able to get up there, enjoy the outdoors, enjoy your skiing and riding experience. On-mountain dining will be open with some changes. Full-service sit-down restaurants will operate, but with reduced seating spacing to enable physical distancing. Large quick-service restaurants will be reconfigured to a cafeteria style approach with a single direction traffic flow, and there will also be outdoor seating available. Packaged beers and wine will be sold at most locations, but there will be no full service bars on or off the mountain, and all transactions will be cashless, so don't forget to bring your credit card. Vail Resorts CEO Rob Katz recently said in an open letter to guests and season pass holders, given how fluid and ever-changing the situation with COVID-19 is, it has also been our goal to design an approach that can remain in place for all of this season. We do not want to be caught off guard, find ourselves needing to make reactive changes. Perhaps the most notable change is that daily walk-up lift tickets will no longer be available. Can't just walk up, show up, and get a ticket. Instead, guests will be asked to purchase tickets online. Pass holders will be required to make reservations before they arrive at the mountain, and that can be done the day of, starting December 8th, providing the resort has not reached its capacity, and I'll talk about that in a moment here. But there's more details available about the reservation system, and all you need to do is go to epicpass.com /info/reservation-details. You get the whole story, and it's good information, so do check that out. Only Epic Pass holders will be allowed on the mountain opening day through December 7th, opening day being November 6th. So it's a time when snow is just beginning to fall. The mountain is gradually opening up, and the resort wanted to make sure that the Epic Pass holders, particularly who were cut short last season, will have first dibs on the mountain through December 7th. Now, reservations can be made up to 7 days in advance and must be made by both pass holders and single-day ticket holders. And according to Katz, for the vast majority of days during the season, we believe everyone who wants to get on the mountain will be able to do so. I know this is a different deal. You got to make a reservation. What if there aren't any left? Because, again, they are allowing fewer people onto the mountain, but we expect, except during high holiday season, that everyone should be able to get there. As I said, between November 6th and December 7th, all Epic Pass holders, whether they are a 3-day pass or a season day pass holder, will have the advantage of being able to reserve 7 days prior to any time during the season. So season pass holders will get a chance to lock in those dates prior to the public at large. Keep in mind that the days roll over, so once a day passes that you reserved, a skier or rider can reserve another one throughout the season. And throughout the season, pass holders will be able to make as many weeks of reservations as their pass type allows and availability allows. This year, each pass includes insurance against a resort shutdown by COVID or anything else, but I can't imagine anything else. Couldn't imagine pandemic last year. Loss of job, pregnancy, all included. It's not an add-on fee. Deer Valley Resort has set December 5th as its opening date, conditions permitting, and we've not yet heard specific details from Altera Mountain Company, who own Deer Valley, like we have from Vail, but we expect those to occur soon. If you want to follow that, go to deervalley.com/about-us/COVID operations. You'll hear what their current instructions are. I'm sure they'll update that as more information becomes available. If you've got any questions, send me an email at ron@thewilsteinteam.com. If you would like a call back, please include your phone number and a preferred time, and I will give you a ring. I want to thank you for watching our webinar, and don't forget to bookmark BuyParkCity.com.